I have let another day nearly escape me, but I wanted to make this quick mention. It's going to take me some time to put all the other stuff together, the playing, but I just wanted to acknowledge that today, I just discovered this about 3 or 4 days ago. Derek Forbes from the band Simple Minds, bassist, and Gary Beers from the band INXS were both born on this date, June 22nd. Derek Forbes was born in 1956 on this date, and Gary Beers was born 1958 on this date. So these guys aren't quite 70 yet, but they're getting there. These are two of the most underrated bass players from some of the biggest bands of the 1980s. Both of them joined their bands, these both being INXS and Simple Minds, in the very beginning from their existence. And as you know, Gary Beers was a member of INXS. He's kind of like infinitely a member of INXS. Derek Forbes was a member of Simple Minds through 1985. After the Once Upon a Time album, Derek Forbes was out of the band. These guys are both fantastic bass players who really don't get hardly any mention whatsoever, and they are integral pieces to these bands. For Simple Minds, Derek Forbes co-wrote all the songs all the way through their first, 5 or 6 albums? 5 albums. So the very first album, Jim Kerr and Charles, I don't know why Charlie, I'm forgetting his last name right now, sorry, the guitarist, and Jim Kerr, the lead vocalist. Those two were credited for the songwriting on the first album. So from Simple Minds' second release, which is Reel to Reel Cacophony, from that second release all the way through Once Upon a Time, Derek Forbes, bassist of Simple Minds, was listed as a co-writer, okay? So he co-wrote all those songs, all those killer bass lines and stuff that you hear in those early Simple Minds songs, that's him. Once Mel got in there, they linked up in such a way that it was very, very noticeable in the songwriting. And their connection just cannot be understated, really. Later on, as I discovered more of Simple Minds' earlier catalog, so once I discovered New Gold Dream, 81, 82, 83, Anyway, before the New Gold Dream era, before I heard it, I would always give most of the credit to Mel Gaynor because I'm such a fan of drummers and drumming that I would always focus on that. And I never really paid a lot of attention to Derek Forbes. But the reason I didn't pay a lot of attention to him is because I was going by Sparkle in the Rain and Once Upon a Time, Don't You Forget About Me, those songs. Like, I was really going by a lot of that material, a lot of the poppier material. I had not heard all that earlier stuff. So thanks to XM Sirius Radio and Soma FM with their New Wave 80s station playing Promised You a Miracle, I would never have gotten into Simple Minds as much as I'm into them now. I have quite a few of their albums now, and I've got all that early stuff, and I absolutely love it. And I've become the biggest Derek Forbes fan. You guys are going to find that out more as time goes on with this channel. This will not be the last time I talk about Derek Forbes. But anyway, just wanted to mention that, talk about who he's played with. A few other things, he played with Big Country for a little bit. And I don't know how that works because I know that, anyway, I don't know the exact years that he played with Big Country, but he played with Big Country for a little bit. He played with The Alarm, and he also played with Propaganda and a few other bands that I'm forgetting right now. As you can see, I'm totally going by memory here. Gary Beers, let me talk about Gary Beers really quick. His bass lines, once you get to kick, even though the bass line for Need You Tonight is pretty cool, his bass doesn't really stand out on that later stuff like it does on the earlier stuff, which is more new wave. And dare I say, well, actually, I know this for a fact, that INXS in their early days, they were very, very inspired by XTC. So yes, they were XTC fans. As a matter of fact, the first time that XTC ever went to Australia, I believe Tim Farriss, the drummer, was there to greet them, and he spent time with them and hung out with them and told them about his band INXS. So I think that's pretty cool that those guys, they all knew one another. And these guys are all, there's just something about the whole UK and Scotland and Australia and all these places where these bands come from, and all these guys being around in the early 80s and making all this great music together. I mean, God, man, I think about that stuff sometimes, and it's just amazing to me that all these guys were together. So anyway, Gary Beers, just to prove that he is completely underrated, he co-wrote one of my favorite INXS songs of all time, probably my favorite INXS song, Don't Change. The last track on Shaboo Shabba. You need to check that out, because if you don't listen to these albums, you're missing out. Like, you should check out Simple Minds, like check out their first 5 albums at least, and check out INXS, especially those first 3 albums. I mean, Shaboo Shabba, their 3rd album, which is arguably their best album, is great. But he also, Gary Beers, bassist, also co-wrote Listen Like Thieves, the song, the track. Love Is What I Say, which is on The Swing, which is another one of my favorite songs, off of that album especially. But he co-wrote all the tracks on the first 2 INXS albums. The second INXS album, Underneath the Colors, I want to say that's my favorite INXS album, but it's hard because Shaboo Shabba is a pretty amazing transitional record as well. Either way, these 2 guys today on this date, I just want to say happy birthday to Derek Forbes and Gary Beers. I hope you guys see this video. I'm going to be doing more videos about you guys and playing more of your bass lines here on this channel. So if you guys like this stuff, you know what to do. Oh, and also one more thing I want to mention. On this date in 1993, June 22nd, Flaming Lips released Transmissions from the Satellite Heart. This is a great date, really. I think that about covers it. Once again, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I want to ask you, do we have any Simple Minds fans out there? Do we have any INXS fans out there? If there's any part of those bands that you are a fan of, please leave it in the comments below. If there are any tracks or songs that are your favorites, please share it here with this community. We love to talk about music here. It's not just about bass gear all the time. Yes, I know it's been a while since I've put out any videos about the bass in particular, or any other particular instrument or any gear, but it's coming. I've got more of it coming to you, but wanted to celebrate this day, or acknowledge that these guys are celebrating their birthdays today. And I just think it's really cool that 2 of the most underrated bass players and 2 of the biggest pop bands of the 80s, rock, pop, whatever you want to call it, new wave, these bands were huge in the 80s.